hello everyone. Today is the Christmas day, and I wish you a Merry Christmas first of all. But I also have a very interesting guest. Today is our second trial to have a conversation live on Instagram, and we'll talk about the transformational journey. How actually to again reset your mindset. Hello, Sherry. And how to uh, get the best from very difficult situations. So, despite the Christmas day, we want to have very serious conversation. Hello, how are
Hi.
you? How are you
Hi.
doing, Sherry?
It works. Yeah, I'm great. Thank you.
How do you celebrate Christmas? Do you have some special traditions in your family?
Um, Not really. And quite, normally we go to friends or family and have people together, but because of the restriction this year, so
Mm.
everybody have to have Christmas alone. And actually, what I've been doing since Monday, leading to the Christmas, is doing something new every day to kind of create new memories, which
Mm-hmm.
it's something we haven't done before. So that's actually been fun. So been baking cookies, having competitions between ourselves. I've got two kids, two boys. So yeah, that is like our new traditions. That has been very fun.
Nice, very nice. Yeah. So I this year somehow I don't really feel Christmas, but it's okay. I think it will be everything fine. But let's start our topic. It's the I have already written the transformational journey because you're a life coach and the NLP coach. My first question is, how actually did you decide to become a coach?
Oh, good question. I've always loved helping people, and I've always been somebody you call a listening ears. Like, I do tend to help people a lot when they're in trouble, and I've got the eyes to always be the one to notice something when it's not going right. And actually, so what made me go into coaching really was about 3 years ago. I separated from my husband after being married for 10 years. And why I did that, while I separated from him, I sort of found myself in a situation where I couldn't even recognize myself.
Hmm.
I didn't know who I was, and like I didn't have any confidence. I do have any career. Like, I have a degree in business marketing, but I never actually used it. So I like focused the last 10 years raising my kids, and it was just a matter of, okay, what's going on? Is it how I'm going to spend the rest of my life, being lost or being confused or overwhelmed? So I started doing a lot of research for myself, and actually I started with YouTube. Watching all these motivational YouTube videos, and then so eventually I seek help. I went for counseling, and then did some therapy as well. And I kept reading. I read a lot of self-developmental books, and I just kept, and then so I had a coach, and I went through the process of finding out what I'm good at, and kind of, so I went through that journey of rediscovering myself, of knowing that actually I'm not useless. I can do so much more for myself.
Mm.
I'm not just going to spend the rest of my life thinking, oh, I'm a single parent, so I can do anything. And so, and through that journey of rediscovering myself, I decided to go back to the university. And I was almost 40. I turned 40 already this year. And so I decided to go back to the uni and to do counseling psychology, because I've always been so fascinated in psychology anyway. And I thought, I really wanted to help people and I wanted to give back. because of all the help and support I got, during my own journey for me to be able to bounce back. So that motivated me really. And then the coaching sort of came along with my counseling training already at the uni. So, and I thought coaching would give me more opportunity to help people, because with counseling, there's so much regulation and little that you can do in a limited space, if you know what I mean. But with coaching, you can reach so much more people. You can change so much life. And so that motivated me really to sort of go for the training. So I trained as a coach as well. So I'm satisfied in life coaching, and also NLP practitioner. And so yeah, so did all my training, I got my certifications, and yeah, that was it really. And I'm loving it. I love it. I just love helping people, making a difference.
Yeah, that's a great start. But tell me, please, you said that you have got also the NLP practitioner certificate. You know, the most people I think know the NLP from a not so good side, from a like negative side. How can NLP really help people in a positive way? Can you can you tell about some techniques? For example, now we have a pandemic and many people feel so lonely. Maybe is there any technique to help, yourself to don't feel lonely and to don't, have this feeling or the thought that you're alone, that nobody is interested in you, and so on. I think many people have it now.
Yeah, I know. Actually, it's good you said that, because one of the reason I did the NLP as well is because of the techniques. Because they've got the NLP has so many techniques that can
Strong
help.
techniques, strong,
Yeah,
very strong.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, some of the techniques that which I actually did myself is a technique called timeline.
I don't know it. Can you tell me this?
And
Hello,
yes, definitely. And and the thing with timeline, it's about so for example, if you got a limiting belief, if you've got something that it might not be true, but you think it is true, and that scares you, or that makes you afraid of, and that stops you from moving forward and things like that. So you can use a timeline techniques to reflect back on how that thing actually came about. How come you have that belief? Where did you get that belief from? And you can go all the way back to your childhood to kind of reflect back, like, okay, this is how it started. And then when you've discovered how that thing started, how you got that limiting belief, there's another techniques that you can use to kind of get rid of it, to make it go away, so that way you can stop having that fear or whatever it is that is holding you back. So yeah, that is the great thing about the NLP. So, and some of the techniques you can use to change your belief, or something that scares you, or like a fear or anger, or even just anything. Literally, it's what you call like a uh switch model or switch techniques. It's literally you replacing something good with something that is bothering you. So an example that I actually used that helped me particularly, I used to be so scared of dogs. All right, because I was bitten so many times as a child, even as a grown up. Yeah, a few years back, my best friend dog, which I'm used to, like I've known this dog for almost 6 years, and I play with the dog, and so because I'm so familiar with them, I wasn't scared of. She has 5 dogs. I wasn't scared of those particular dogs, but when I'm on the streets, I run away stranger
Mm.
dogs. So anyway, so one of my friend's dogs is he had a cataract, so which means kind of lost the sight, and and I think he has so many medical issues as well, which they hadn't picked up at the time. So anyway, I went to the house. The dog came to me, put his palm on my hip, and I thought, oh, he just needed me to pat the head. And before I knew, he literally dig his teeth in my hip and tore my jeans apart, and there was blood everywhere. And I started screaming, and that terrified me. I mean, this happens about 15 years ago now, but I still have that memory of it, and it still scares me every time I see a dog. And so during my NLP training and with my coach, one of the things I did is actually use one of those techniques from the NLP to get rid of the fear of the dog. And that the particular techniques I used, or my coach used with me, was using what they call a movie story. So you you act like you are in a movie by yourself. Okay, so you start by watching the movie like in black and white, and then before you see the trigger, like before you decide to see a dog that scares you, you sort of pause the movie, and then you rewind it and you watch it again, and then from there, when you get used to that scenario, you moved on to you actually controlling the movie. So, which means at the end of the day, you're going to be in the movie and controlling it. You have the control. So you can pause, you can rewind, you can fast forward. And what that does, I'm not me saying it probably doesn't make any sense, but what that does for you when you are in the mode, because you have to be relaxed, you have to be engaged when when you're doing all these techniques, which makes it work. And when you're doing that, it's about retraining your mental state, your brain, and
Mm.
kind of you reviewing that event in a different light. And at the end of it, I mean, I came out and I thought about dogs, and I wasn't so scared. And then the following day, I actually took my kids, went for a walk. And then normally when we go for a walk in the park, I'll tell my kids, don't go near the dogs, stay away from, the strange dogs. And I actually went up to a dog and decided to like ask the owner, can I touch her? And stuff like, oh yeah, he's friendly. And I was really, really amazed. That was amazing for me. And and so many other techniques like that could help you change. And there's a techniques like, even like when you don't really like something. So like another thing that I did that worked for me is because I eat a lot of chocolate and cake. That is my weakness. For many years, I've wanted to lose weight, and I will start a program. But then once I see chocolate or cake, I can never say no. I just go for it, and then the whole plan goes out of the window. And then another techniques I did from the NLP is what they call a submodality techniques, and is literally you having, so because I love cake. Okay, I don't like vegetables very much. And so the technique is swapping the vegetable with a cake, to the point that when I actually see cake, I'm thinking it's a vegetable, and I'm like,
Mm.
"Ugh," and actually in the process, you end up liking vegetable and
Mm.
end up disliking cake. And so, I mean, I still eat cake, but just a tiny bit. I like, at least now I can say, oh, no, thank you. Whereas before I couldn't say that. I would just go for it, like, cake, give it to me. And so, yeah, I think that is and, and like you said, I know NLP does have like a, bad rep, or whatever you call it. And I think that goes a long way back to the history of, you know, how it started.
Mm.
But the thing is, when you're in need of help, you look at the positive side, and knowing that these techniques can help a long way, especially, with changing your limiting beliefs. Because the thing is, when you have a limiting belief, it affects you. It affects you in the long run.
Mm.
It holds you back. It stops you from moving forward. And I think that's one of the great thing about NLP.
Mm. But I also know that you work a lot with confidence. Yeah, you also said before that you experienced after you got divorced, not enough confidence, not enough self-esteem. Are there some techniques to get it better, to increase your confidence? Because first step, I think, in changing your mindset, you have to have a self-belief and really, really want it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So the first thing is the mindset. For you to know that, okay, you want it, and then you focus and you believe that you can do it.
Mm.
So and then one of the when I was working on my confidence, and one thing that affected me was one of my limiting belief as well. It was fine. I mean, like, probably about a year ago, I won't be doing this with you. I don't want to be in front of a camera or even go, then I got to a point I even hate taking pictures because I thought, oh, I'm not beautiful enough. Like, I look ugly in pictures, or this or that. But, and so, and one of the techniques that helped me, especially from the NLP aspect as well, it's the visualization of me saying myself. Like, sometimes it might help to kind of have thinking of the right word to use for this. So say, for example, you have somebody in your life that like a role model to you, that you think, oh, this person is full of confidence, this person, that's so sure of themselves or what they do. You can use that to sort of, train your mind to be like, okay, I want to be able to be like that. I want to be able to speak freely in front of people. I want to be able, just to speak my mind, to go for anything I want to do. I want to be able to say, I'm beautiful. I'm enough. I'm amazing. I'm a great person. I'm a great mother. And, for you to be one to be able to do that. So you can find somebody that is a role model to you, and then visualize them as you, and
Mm.
just to see how they do it, or how you can do it. And then as you visualize that, as you build that into your own brain, into your own mental system, then you can anchor it. There's another thing in NLP called anchoring, and it's about you painting something great that you want to have, and pinning that thing into your brain, like, I want this. So for example, an example of anchoring would be like, okay, say for example, I want to see myself speaking on stage. Okay, and then one of the people I admire so much is Lisa Nichols. Okay, so I could visualize Lisa Nichols speaking on stage, right? Looking at how she's moving around, and how confident she is, and how she presents herself and all that. I can visualize that, and bend that into my own system, and anchor it. And the anchoring you can use. So for example, one of my anchoring, because I've done so many things that I've anchored, it's my nickel, right? So for example, if I want to do something, like now, like you invited me to join you live, and I'm trying to talk myself out of it, and I'm going like, oh my goodness, I can do it. Talk, go live, talk in front of people, in front of camera. Oh my God, I'm so scared. I could go back into my anchoring and press on to my because I've anchored my confidence into my neck, my knuckles, and I could go back there, close my eyes for a little bit, and visualize myself speaking in front of audience, speak, like carrying myself with confidence. And then once I go back to my anchoring, it brings back that confidence I've embedded into my brain. It brings it all back, and that helps me. So yeah, but again, for you to work on your confidence, you have to want it. You have to be willing to work for it. It's not easy because you're gonna have so many doubts coming back and so many things, happening. And so, but once you make up your mind that you want to, you want to do it, you want to work on it, that'll make it a lot easier.
But you know what I noticed from my practice with public talking, public speaking, is that the most people, they don't know what they want. This is the biggest problem, because if you don't know why you actually need to talk in public, or why do you need to uh, do some, conversations on Instagram or whatever, if you don't know why you do it, and if you don't know if you really, really want it, it's very difficult to get aware of these fears. This is also my question. For example, for the people who are in a very difficult situations, who have this very um, tiny beliefs, or how you said, limited
Limiting
beliefs,
beliefs, yeah.
limited beliefs in themselves, where to start? Because the most people, they don't even know where to start this transformation.
Well, I think you will start by talking to people. Because the thing is, it's hard to figure it out on your own, because you're trying to figure it out on your own, and you're gonna keep going in a circle. Do you know what I mean? I think you don't even have to get a professional. You can even ask your best friend or your family member, but asking simple questions, about yourself, like, what do you think about me? Where do you see me? What do you think I'm doing wrong? And then by talking to people, they can point out to you, or even they can they can lead you to the way for you to think like, actually, I don't know why I'm thinking that way. I don't know why I'm thinking I'm not beautiful. Maybe because people don't tell me that enough. But by asking people, by talking to people, by being like, well, I don't like taking pictures. I don't even like being in front of camera. But I don't know why that is. And then somebody might ask you, well, why do you think so? Don't you think you're beautiful enough? Don't you look amazing, you look beautiful, and stuff like that. And then I think the best thing is talking to people about your challenges. And then also sometimes reflection can help. But the thing is, if you don't speak up and talk about it, you won't be able to go deeper enough. So do you understand what I mean?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
just wanted
So
to.
and yeah, I think the point of that is other people kind of not not projecting, but sort of facilitating you to realize what you're doing wrong or where you are.
But not everyone has a very positive-minded people, surrounded by very positive-minded people. Because I can give you an example. Recently, well, a couple of months ago, a lady called me because she wants to increase her presentation skills. And she called me for the constellation and said, like, oh, I have a problem every time when I speak in front of the audience or in front of the group of people, I start crying. And when I asked her a couple of questions, she always said, my husband said that I'm not good in this. My son says that I'm not good in that. My mom says that I'm not good in that. And I said, like, stop, wait a little bit. But what do you think? My question was only, what can you do the best? What do you think your talents are? Can you tell me about your strength? And she was completely out because obviously from her family members, from her friends or her kids, she never hears that she's good in something. She only hears like, you're bad in this, or you're not enough, you're not enough. And she's like, and apparently she's also a perfectionist, so she's always for herself not good enough. So she couldn't answer a really easy question: what can you do, you think you can do the best? She says, like, she got lost because she says, like, oh, my husband says this, my mom says that, and people say this. That's why, how my question is, it's very good to talk to people if you know that they are, can give you a positive and constructive feedback. But there are some people who doesn't have this good opportunity to have, as I said, good people around them who really can help you and really, um, can say, you're so good and so beautiful. Many people don't have this opportunity. What to do, how to, find yourself when you are surrounded with toxic people, basically.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. I've heard that a lot, and even I've been through that as well, especially with my marriage. I think the first thing for you to start a transformational journey, it have to be your decision. You have
Mm.
to have that awakening to say, I really want to do this for me. And the thing is, once you make that decision, once you decide that you want to do it for yourself, you will start noticing some patterns that is not in a line with what you want. You might need to decide and get rid of so many people in your life.
Mm. It's
I
very
mean,
hard for many people, very hard.
it is hard, but you have to do it. I mean, for example, even for myself, I lost a lot of my family members because they were against me going. I mean, being separated from my husband or thinking of divorce because it's going to be a bad reputation to the family and things like that. But I have to sit down and say, this is my life. And it is only me that know what I really, really want, because nobody else can tell you. Other people can advise you on, what is good for you. But only you can decide, only you knows truly
Mm.
what you want. I mean, for example, I remember a couple of years ago, a lot of people, like especially like family members or close family friends, they talked me into doing a degree in nursing. They're like, oh, just go back to the university. You need to do this degree. It is free. Then it used to be free in the UK. Like you get a degree for free, and they pay you as well for doing, for studying, for doing the degree. They give you what they call a bursary. Okay, and they were all doing it, and they're like, no, you must do it. It will change your life. The job is going to be guaranteed forever because there's always a need for nurses and things like that. And I'm thinking, oh, I don't really think I want to do that. It's never occurred to me that I wanted to do it. I've always been passionate about counseling, and initially I thought, oh, I wanted to be a social worker because I know what my strengths was or what my strengths were. But due to different things, I couldn't really do what I wanted. And even especially my husband's like, I have to do what he says. And so it was about, just go for the nursing. You're going to enjoy. And even if you don't like it, just do it for the money. Because, once you finish your degree, you're going to have jobs, everywhere. You're going to have money. And so anyway, I decided like, okay, well, if everybody says so, I'm going to do it. I enrolled into the university, got in, started, and I my first year was a struggle. Not in terms of academic, it's just like I'm not really enjoying this. I don't want to do this for the rest of my life because it was, it was split. The training is split into two, so 50% of studying at uni and 50% of doing a going for your placement. So you go into the hospitals or different establishment for practice, and so and I thought I'm not loving this. And then the second year, the same thing. And I had to sit back and say, look, I'm going to spend 3 years to do this training, but I'm going to spend the rest of my life hating going to work because I love helping people, but there's more to the job than that. There's other way I want to help people, not not the way they want me to do it. Do you understand? So I had that
Mm.
conflict for a long time. So I had to decide and be like, you know what? This wasn't my dream. This was projected on me. So I have to put my foot down. I'm not doing this. So I had to leave. Like, no, when I'm ready to do what I really want, I'll go and do it. And lots of people live their life like that. People project what they think is good for them on you.
Mm.
So, but you have to know what you want. You have to decide for yourself. And once you make that decision, then you have to let go of so many people, especially those people that doesn't really care much for you. I mean, for me, with my family members, I literally have to stop talking to a lot of them. I just block the numbers. Like, if you're going to call me every day and tell me, oh, if you're a single mom, your life is going to be horrible. You cannot do anything. You're not going to be successful as a single parent. It, it, it wears you down. It affects you. It takes you
Mm.
into a different place you don't want to be, which is like being in a deep hole. And those people, every time I see that number, I panicked. Like, what are you going to say? And so I had to block their numbers. So when you have people like that and you know it, you know that they're not serving you, you have to be strong and just cut them
Mm.
off. Even the same thing with friends. You have friends. I've been very lucky that all my friends are very, very supportive and they've always been very positive. But then I've seen people that have that much of negative friends around them because their friends don't want to see them to be better than them.
Mm.
So they point them into the wrong direction or they stop them from doing what they want to do. I mean, I had a colleague once, she wanted to start a business. And I'm sure she would have been very good at it because she's very smart, very intelligent. But then she started telling all her friends, like, oh, I got this business idea. I'm going to start this business. And they literally talked her out of starting her own business. And that could have changed her life. And she regretted that because she thought, she would have been very good at it. I said, so why did you listen to them? So people like that, if you say to somebody, you want to do this for you, and they cannot say to you, oh, and if you don't try, you don't know. Go ahead, we will support you. If they don't say that, but instead they go, oh no, that is going to be bad for you. That is, you're not going to be successful at it. That should be the last time you talk to them about your
Mm.
dreams, especially. Well, that should be the last time you want to spend so much time with them because then they are time waster. They're gonna be they're stealing your time, and you haven't
Mm.
got much time to waste. So I think it's about realizing how you read, how people relate to you or how you relate to them. You know, as a friend or even as a family member, if somebody come to me and say, "Oh, this is what I'm thinking," or "I want to start a business," or "I want to go back to uni," or "I want to do something good for my life," my first thing to say is, "My goodness, that is a great idea. I truly believe you can do that. You know, if you need anything, I'm here to support you. So it is left for that person to start that journey. And if along the way they find out, oh, you know what, this is not what I want, and then they give it up, it is that decision. And so if
Mm.
they come back and say, oh, do you know what, I changed my mind, I don't think I want that anymore, and I'll be, do you know what, that is fine. Try, you know, you can try something else. So we have to be very supportive of one another. And that
Mm.
is the way I live my life, you know, the positivity. And it goes a long way. But when somebody say to you, oh no, you can't do that, don't even bother, don't even try it. If it was me, that would be the last time I would speak to them,
Mm.
literally, or give them any more of my time, because my time is so precious.
Mm-hmm. But what do you think? Why the most adults cannot dream? Why the most adults don't allow themselves to dream?
I think it's usually the situation they put themselves in.
Mm.
Because if you're not surrounded yourself with people that are successful, or they have aspiration for their life, you're not going to do the same. Like, I don't know who said this, and I might be paraphrasing, that says, you know, show me 5 people you hang out with, and I'll tell you what your future is going to be like.
Mm. Mm.
Do you know, the thing is, if you surround yourself with motivated people, if you surround yourself with people that, you know, that have a purpose, you will also want to do the same. But if you surround yourself with people that haven't got any directions, they don't want you to find your own direction, to find your own purpose, you're going to be in the same
Mm.
situation. So I think it's about you knowing what you want and surround yourself with people that can move you forward. Do you understand what I mean?
Yes.
So yeah, I think it all starts with you.
Mm.
You know, it all starts with you. You have to be the one to make that decision. You have to be the one to make that determination, because there's a difference in making the decision, and there's difference in having the determination to go through with it.
Mm.
And the thing is, once you do that, then the sky is the limit. You will start seeing things that you normally wouldn't have seen. You start paying more attention to everything that is going on in, you know, in your life. You start asking yourself, how am I spending my time? How, you know, what is my goal? What, you know, what is my purpose? And so so that's the first thing about transformation. You can't just wake up one day and say, oh, I want to transform my life, I want to be this. But why do you want it? And how
Mm.
do you think you're going to do it? So you
Mm.
have to know your why.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then and through that, you'll be able to, you know, spread your wings and seek help, find people that, you know, that will support you, or look for people on the same journey.
Mm. Mm. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Absolutely agree with you. But today is Christmas, and in 1 week is a new year. What do you wish? What could you wish to people who are now in their transformational journey? Um, can you give some advices, some techniques, where to start, how to go, how to don't lose the belief in yourself? I think that the most people also struggle with, long-term belief in yourself, because it's not easy, especially at the beginning, to, be on this way.
I know. So the first thing is, if you haven't got it, work on your confidence.
Mm.
You know, work on your confidence, because the thing is, I mean, you don't just have it and it stays there, you build on it every day.
It's like a muscle. You
It's
have to
like a
train the
muscle, you
muscle.
build on it. There's just certain things I'm still scared of doing. But then when I remind myself why I want to do that, I go for it. And so yeah. So confidence building, it's something you keep adding on to. You don't just say, oh, I'm full of confidence. That's it. You have to keep working on it. And the ways you can do that, is being kind to yourself. Sometimes you might let yourself down, but remember that you are still human. So, just be kind to yourself. The way you think about yourself counts a lot.
Mm.
Have that positive mind about yourself. Don't stop saying negative things about yourself. Stop thinking negatively about yourself. Because the thing is, if you think you can do it, then you can't. And if you think you can, then you can. So, I'm sure somebody said that, I can't remember who, but it is true. So you start, with your mindset,
Mm.
being positive about yourself, and that will take you a long way to reflect on other people as well. And another thing is find something you are good at, something that you are genuinely good at, or even if you think you're not good at it, but you want it, then find a way to get it and just go for it.
Mm.
And then that again will boost your confidence. I mean, for me, going back to university at almost 40 is unheard of. I'm the oldest in my class. But because I'm determined to do it, I'm determined to, get that training, get that degree. It's good for me, it's good for my confidence. And so when I talk to people, and initially when I first started, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to tell people, like, they'll be thinking, God, you are too old to be in the university. So I was so scared. But when I suddenly made up my mind, like, look, I wanted it, this is my dream. I don't care what anybody else says. I will tell anybody. So now, like, people ask me, what do you do? The first thing I'm like, oh, I'm a student. I'm at the university, getting another undergraduate degree. And I stopped being ashamed of it. I stopped being scared of sharing that. And and that really, really helped boost my confidence as well. Like, just take me to this level, like, wow, do you know what? People can stop you. Only you can stop yourself. So yeah, and then another thing is, it's good to want to do things alone, but it is very, very important to have support.
Mm.
And even if you think you haven't got people that is brave enough to support you on one-to-one or taking you on that journey, then find a professional that can help you.
Mm.
Even, I mean, I'm a coach, but I also have a coach and I have mentors, people that I still talk to, people that still guiding me. So we are not an island. We are meant to be in a community in order to grow. So yeah, it could be a lonely journey. So, but don't make it lonely for you. So if you think this is, the new year is coming, you want to be, go on a transformational journey. I think the first thing is have somebody on your side that can help you on that journey. Somebody that can point out the things you can see for yourself. If you have a good friends that can do that, great. And if you don't, you know, maybe find somebody that can help. You
Mm.
could get a coach, or it could be your colleagues that could hold you accountable. I know things that some of people with coaching, because they think, oh, coaching is very expensive, but it doesn't have to be. And again, it's about your dream. How desperate are you? How much do you want it?
Mm.
So
How
yeah,
important it is. How important, yeah.
Yeah, how much do you want it? You know, do you want to be in the same spot you were before? Do you, or are you willing to move forward? How do you want to get there? So, you know, we as human, we always find a way to go on that journey. Or, you know, it's like if you want to go on holiday, say you have a holiday of a lifetime, you know, definitely, okay, you have to save for the money. You have to book the ticket. You have to book the hotel. It's, you're not just going to wake up and say, hey, I'm going on holiday. You've got to take that steps. The same things with your life. You know, the same thing, it's your achievement. How much do you want it?
Mm.
And what are you willing to give to have it? Nothing is easy in life, but you know, it's about walking through it and taking that step at a time.
Yeah. I think this is a very good note to finish our conversation. Thank you so much for coming and for, joining me today. Thank you so much for sharing the information. Well, I think it was a very important, very interesting conversation.
Thank you.
And Merry Christmas.
Merry
Have a nice
Christmas to you too.
dinner.
And
Thank
yeah,
you.
and thanks for giving me this opportunity. Like I said to you, this is my first live.
Yeah, that was a
So
nice premiere.
I
Very good,
know.
successful premiere.
Yeah,
Very
so
good.
you know, this is another challenge I've set for myself. Like now I've started doing videos, you know, doing more live. So yeah, we grow every day,
Yeah.
you know, and the more we grow, the more our confidence grows as well. So thank you so much for this opportunity. And I wish you a wonderful, wonderful Christmas and New Year.
Thank you. You too. And keep going with your videos. I like them. I just said it yesterday, but I really like your videos.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So have a nice day
And
and have
you
a
too. Okay,
great Christmas
bye.
dinner. Bye
Yeah,
bye.
thank you. Bye.